You're standing at the edge of the Texas coast, the sun sinking low, painting the sky in molten orange. The ground trembles beneath your feet. Before you stands a gleaming tower of stainless steel, the world's largest rocket, ready to awaken. The countdown echoes, and for a moment, you realize this isn't just another test flight. It's the threshold of something far greater. This is the story of Starship Block 3, SpaceX's boldest leap yet. Block 3 isn't just an upgrade. It's a complete reinvention. Elon Musk calls it the foundation for SpaceX's most ambitious dreams, carrying humans to the moon, and eventually Mars. But beyond the headlines, what really makes this machine so revolutionary? Let's break it down. First, power, thrust, the raw muscle that lifts humanity off the Earth. Starship's Super Heavy booster roars with 33 Raptor engines, generating over 72 meganewtons of thrust. That's about 16 million pounds. To put that in perspective, it's more than double the power of NASA's legendary Saturn V, the rocket that once carried Apollo astronauts to the moon. And yet, Block 3 aims to push even further, toward an unimaginable 10,000 tons of combined thrust. That kind of power doesn't just send rockets higher. It changes what's possible. Second, payload capacity. Lifting heavy cargo has always been one of the great barriers of spaceflight, but Starship Block 3 is designed to deliver 100 metric tons to orbit, and even more if flown expendably. That would make it the most capable launch vehicle ever built. Entire lunar habitats, massive telescopes, or hundreds of satellites, all launched in a single flight. It's like upgrading from a pickup truck to a cargo ship bound for the stars. Third, reusability. This is where SpaceX truly redefines the game. Every part of Starship Block 3 is being redesigned to fly, land, and fly again faster than ever before. New Raptor 3 engines with built-in cooling circuits instead of external shields mean cleaner lines, lighter weight, and higher efficiency. Larger grid fins, now only 3 instead of 4, reduce drag and simplify control. And the booster's new catch system integrates directly into those fins, allowing it to be caught by Mechazilla's arms mid-air, a mechanical ballet of fire and precision. Up above, the upper stage features docking adapter ports built for orbital refueling. 2 starships connecting in space, transferring propellant mid-orbit. This is no small step. It's the key to reaching the moon and one day, Mars. Why? Because even a rocket this powerful burns most of its fuel just escaping Earth's gravity. Refueling in orbit means it can go farther, hundreds of thousands of miles farther. And it's not just the rocket. SpaceX is rebuilding its launch infrastructure too, expanding Starbase, adding flame trenches, water deluge systems, and faster launch towers. Every improvement brings them closer to something Musk has always envisioned: rockets launching as frequently as airplanes. But beyond the technical brilliance, what makes this story truly human is the spirit behind it. The late-night engineers perfecting welds, the technicians who feel the rumble before dawn, the quiet determination that says, we can go farther. If Block 3 succeeds, it won't just change the way we reach orbit. It could change who gets to go. Smaller nations, universities, private companies, even students might one day send their missions into space. Because when access becomes affordable, imagination takes flight. So as we stand on the edge of this new chapter, one thing is clear. Starship Block 3 isn't just a machine. It's a symbol of what happens when ambition meets perseverance. When humanity dares to look up and say, let's build what comes next. Every great leap forward casts a long shadow. For all its shining steel and sky-high promises, Starship Block 3 walks a razor's edge between triumph and disaster. The story of SpaceX has always been one of explosions and rebirth. For every success, there's been a fiery lesson written across the Texas sky. And while Block 2 ended its run on a cinematic high note, 2 consecutive successful flights after a string of catastrophic failures, engineers know one truth: success in rocketry is rented, never owned. Starship Block 3 may be the most powerful machine ever built, but power brings fragility. The Raptor 3 engines, exposed and unshielded, face the full fury of atmospheric re-entry. Any minor flaw, a crack, a misaligned weld, a cooling failure, could mean instant disintegration. Even a single molten droplet finding its way into a turbine could turn billions of dollars of ambition into a mid-air funeral. Critics call it reckless. Admirers call it necessary. Musk calls it progress. The most controversial element? Orbital refueling. It's the linchpin of the entire Starship strategy. And yet, it's something no one has ever done at scale. 2 massive ships, each the size of an airliner, connecting in orbit and transferring cryogenic methane and oxygen while racing around Earth at 28,000 kilometers per hour. The smallest mistake could lead to catastrophic ignition. NASA's confidence in this untested process is both visionary and risky. The agency has poured more than $4 billion into SpaceX's human landing system, a bet that Starship will deliver astronauts to the lunar surface. But even NASA's most optimistic timelines admit the hurdles. Dozens of tanker flights, flawless docking sequences, 0 leaks, and perfectly timed fuel transfers, all before a single astronaut steps onto the lunar dust. Then there's the heat shield. That thin skin of hexagonal tiles stands between the ship and destruction. Block 3 promises a refined design, better attachment methods, tighter gaps, but history shows that heat shields are unforgiving. The Columbia disaster still haunts every engineer who watches those tiles glow red-hot during descent. Each test flight is a gamble with physics, where even success is measured in damage reports and scorched data. Public opinion, too, is divided. Some see Starship as humanity's destiny, a gateway to Mars and beyond. Others see it as an expensive vanity project, burning through resources, while the planet it leaves behind struggles. Environmental activists question the methane emissions, the noise pollution, the destruction of delicate coastal ecosystems near Starbase. SpaceX counters that progress demands sacrifice. that innovation and ecology can coexist if guided by purpose. But perhaps the most dramatic controversy lies not in technology, but in philosophy. The idea that a private company, not a nation, could lead humanity into space unsettles traditionalists. To them, the cosmos should be the domain of nations, of collective effort, not the vision of one man and his corporation. Yet here we are, watching as governments, agencies, and competitors all adjust to SpaceX's pace, drawn into its gravitational pull. And then there's the silence that follows each launch. The few tense minutes when the world watches, holding its breath, waiting to see if the ship will make it to orbit or fall back in flames. In those moments, the boundary between genius and folly blurs. Inside SpaceX, engineers whisper about the next test, rumors of integrated refueling trials, a higher flight profile, an attempt to demonstrate controlled re-entry. They know that each failure could set them back months. They also know that without failure, there can be no flight. Starship Block 3 represents everything intoxicating and terrifying about human ambition. It's a cathedral built of stainless steel and fire, designed to defy gravity itself. But cathedrals can crumble, and fire can consume. The question hanging in the air isn't whether SpaceX can build it. It's whether humanity is ready to follow it. The stakes have never been higher. Success could change our species forever. Failure could remind us once again just how fragile our reach for the stars really is. The sun rises over Starbase, and the air feels different. It carries the hum of construction, the clang of steel, the hiss of welders shaping the future. The old launch tower, Mechazilla, lies dismantled, its once mighty arms now silent. In its place, a new generation rises, stronger, sleeker, faster. The transition from Starship Block 2 to Block 3 isn't just mechanical, it's cultural. It marks the moment SpaceX stops being a dreamer's company and becomes something larger, an institution of ambition itself. Starship has always been more than a rocket. To Elon Musk, it's the vessel that could carry humanity out of its cradle. To his engineers, it's the Everest of engineering challenges. And to the rest of us watching from Earth, it's a mirror reflecting who we are, risk-takers, creators, and sometimes reckless believers. But now, as the dust settles from the fiery trials of Block 2, Block 3 takes the stage with expectations so high they almost scrape the edge of possibility. It's not just about flight anymore. It's about endurance, precision, repeatability, and faith. Every weld, every engine, every line of software now carries the weight of a planet's expectations. Inside the hangars, Raptor 3 engines stand like metallic beasts, sleek, exposed, humming faintly as systems come alive for testing. The new cooling channels shimmer under bright white lights, their curves designed to tame the chaos of 3,000-degree exhaust. Engineers run simulations of orbital refueling in VR, adjusting valves, timing flows to the millisecond. What was science fiction a decade ago is now rendered in stainless steel. At the heart of this next phase is the promise of scale. SpaceX doesn't just want to fly Starship once a year. It wants to fly weekly, even daily. The new launch pads being built in Texas and Florida are designed for rapid turnaround, automated stacking, and synchronized launch operations. The analogy Musk loves most, treating rockets like airplanes, is inching closer to reality. Yet this vision demands more than hardware. It demands a revolution in how humanity thinks about space itself. Once, space was the realm of the few, the domain of astronauts and scientists. Soon, it could be the workplace of builders, engineers, and travelers. If Block 3 succeeds, the line between Earth and the stars begins to blur. The implications stretch far beyond exploration. Think of what happens when you can lift 100 tons to orbit at a fraction of today's cost. Massive space telescopes could be launched in one piece instead of folded like origami. Space-based solar power plants could beam clean energy to Earth. Entire factories could operate in microgravity, producing alloys, crystals, and pharmaceuticals impossible to make down here. And then there's the moon. NASA's Artemis program has placed its hopes in SpaceX's lunar variant of Starship, a towering vehicle stripped of fins, fitted with landing thrusters, and coated in reflective white paint. Its mission: to deliver astronauts to the moon's surface for the first time in half a century. But more than a flag and footprints moment, this is meant to be the start of permanence. Lunar bases, resource extraction, long-term habitation. Block 3's architecture, with its docking ports, refueling systems, and massive payload bay, is designed to make that possible. Behind the scenes, SpaceX is preparing for the choreography of orbital refueling that will make these missions feasible. Multiple tankers launching in sequence, one after another, to top off a waiting lunar Starship before it embarks on its journey. Each flight must be flawless, each connection airtight. Every kilogram of methane and oxygen must flow perfectly, because one small miscalculation could mean a shortfall of fuel halfway to the moon. For the engineers, it's more than logistics. It's poetry in motion. The vision of two colossal ships drifting together in orbit, linking like cosmic dancers before parting ways toward the unknown, captures the essence of what exploration has always meant: connection, courage, and faith in machinery that should, by all odds, fail. But it's not just about reaching other worlds. Starship's scale opens a door to something even grander: the transformation of Earth's relationship with space itself. The ability to deploy hundreds of next-generation Starlink satellites in a single flight could create a global communications network dense enough to make lag and disconnection relics of the past. Starship could launch observatories capable of peering into the atmospheres of distant exoplanets, searching for signs of life. It could send robotic missions to the outer planets, return samples from icy moons, or carry cargo to Mars ahead of human settlers. For the first time, humanity would have a transportation system not limited by cost or capacity, but by imagination. And yet, for all its glory, Block 3 carries an unspoken tension, a quiet question that lingers even among its creators. What if we're not ready? Because with great power comes great disruption. If SpaceX succeeds, it won't just reshape spaceflight. It will redefine industries, economies, even geopolitics. Governments will scramble to catch up. Competitors will rise. Entire sectors, launch providers, satellite builders, aerospace contractors, will have to evolve or vanish. The power to access space cheaply and frequently could shift the balance of exploration from states to corporations. Some call that progress. Others call it a warning. In the long nights at Starbase, when the floodlights dim and the workers go home, there's a moment of stillness. You can almost hear the whisper of history passing through the empty launch towers. Humanity has always built great machines, ships, cathedrals, colliders, each a testament to our refusal to stay small. Starship is the latest in that lineage, a fusion of art and engineering, born from both arrogance and hope. What happens next will test not just technology, but our values. Can we balance exploration with preservation, ambition with humility, profit with purpose? For Elon Musk, the answer has always been clear. Humanity must become multiplanetary. He speaks of it with the fervor of a prophet, convinced that only by spreading to other worlds can we survive the long night of cosmic chance. And perhaps he's right. Perhaps Starship Block 3 is the first true vessel of that destiny. But perhaps it's also a mirror, reflecting the contradictions of our age, our brilliance, our impatience, our hunger for more. As the next launch approaches, the world will once again hold its breath. Cameras will roll, hearts will race, and for a few precious minutes, the boundary between Earth and the heavens will blur. And when the engines ignite, 33 voices of thunder in perfect unison, the ground will tremble, the sky will open, and the dream will take flight. Whether it soars or falls, one truth remains. Starship Block 3 is no longer just SpaceX's story. It's ours. A story written in fire, welded in steel, and whispered to the stars.